two of them together sound like this. And the way I use my rig when I play my own shows is that I always leave the clean amp on, and I use a radial Bones ABY pedal. They have them here. And all I do is turn this amp on and off. So if I step on a pedal, I go from this, which is my clean, to this. If when it comes to soloing or playing heavy, I never just use the dirty amp by itself. And when I should also mention, when I'm playing my own gigs, I don't use a pedal board. This pedal board is mostly for Sarah McLachlan or Brian Adams or people like that. And they, you know, you say, I've said to Sarah, I said, I would just like to go into the amplifier and have a really natural sound. She says, oh, that's a great idea. And then at rehearsal, she says, well, what about the end of the song where it goes, wee, wee? I'm like, well, that means I have to have all those pedals. And she's like, bring the pedals. Okay, so I bring the pedals. But I prefer to just go straight into the amplifiers and let the tones that I like the most tend to be the sound of amplifiers, the sound of tubes, the sound of speakers, the sound of, you know, of various transformers and what they do. You know, whether it's Knopfler or Brian Setzer or Mark Rebo from Tom Waits' band and records, or most of the sounds that I hear that I find really pleasing are really just the sounds of amplifiers. Once in a while, you'll hear a Pink Floyd record and David Gilmour's got some echo and there's some fuzz, and it really does sound spectacular, or Jimi Hendrix. But my favorite sounds are the natural ones. So I'm actually just getting used to reintegrating the pedal board into my life, because I'm going to start working with Sarah again soon, and her records and her music have a lot of different sounds on them, so I have to replicate a lot of stuff. I'll just give you an idea of how far afield I can get from just the natural sound that I'm giving you here. As I tend to get. Oh, I forgot one. This volume pedal that I'm stepping on here, it actually doubles as a wah pedal. If you step on it, you can open it up into a wah. Fun, actually. I haven't touched any of this stuff in a very long time. On a gig like Sarah McLachlan's, I often refer to it as tap dancing, because you're constantly stepping on pedals and changing things. In fact, about 2 weeks into one of her bigger tours, my back is in a fair amount of pain because I spend most of the show standing on one foot because my other foot is hovering above the pedal board and waiting to change settings. You can actually set it up so that you have a MIDI controller which will allow you to loop various pedals together so that, let's say you have a compressor and a distortion and a delay all turned on at the same time. You have them in a chain so that when you step on one selector, not on the pedal itself, but on a loop function or on a MIDI controller, that will actually turn all of those pedals on at the same time. That would be the smart thing, but then I suppose that means I have to make my pedal board even bigger, and I'm always trying to downsize. I want as little gear as possible. So I settle for the tap dancing routine that I seem to be sentenced with.